In the search for suitable pastures and clean, fresh water for their cattle, herdsmen, usually of the Fulani stock from the northern parts of Nigeria, frequently move their herds of cattle, mostly on foot, from their bays through different states across the country, including Pt.2, Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, among many others, and some part of the southwest and the southeast, often stopping at some designated points along the way to drop off some of their stock at some of the various cattle markets to fulfill the beef supply needs of consumers across the country. What started as minor disagreements and skirmishes over allegations that herdsmen sometimes let their cattle graze on cultivated farmlands on one hand and theft of cattle on the other has now grown out of proportion. Tensions have risen over access to farmlands and pastures as human population growth and rising herd numbers led to competition for scarce resources. Of recent, however, hostilities have grown to a level where casualties are counted in hundreds on the scale of a small war. Though cattle farming generates wealth and economic interdependence between farmers and cattle herders, it also causes tension and conflict, arising from competition for vital resources such as water and grazing lands. The multiplication of migration routes, expansion of cultivated areas, and an increase in cattle herds has further deepened this competition. On their part, Ondo State farmers are asking the federal government for 2 billion naira in compensation. This position was made known at a summit organized by the Ondo State Agricultural Commodities Association aimed at finding a short, medium and long-term homegrown solutions to the problems of cattle grazing and the destruction of their crops. The farmers in a summit held in Akure, the Ondo State capital, said the activities of the Fulani herdsmen, which has ceaselessly wreaked havoc on the produce of farmers in the state, is becoming worrisome to its members. Farmers in Ondo State are counting their losses after several years of invasion of their farms by Fulani herdsmen.
When you quantify the damage that is being done by the herdsmen in a place like Ondo State, it is colossal. And that is why we are making a 2 billion naira demand from the federal government.
They claim they can no longer entertain Fulani herdsmen and their cattle because they are not law-abiding. According to them, a petition has been sent to the National Assembly to register their concern over the increasing threat to life and properties constituted by Fulani nomads.
I've been farming since year 1988 when I ran away from Lagos because I could not do bus conductor again. I came home to settle. So all my farms were ravaged. Even my processing mill, everything ravaged. So if anybody could go there now, about 5 million things, they are gone. So I don't know where to begin. That's why I cried out.
I don't know what other big language to use, but it has been terrible. I've had 2 encounters with the cattle rearers, and on one occasion I had to drive them off my vegetable farm when they brought in their cattle and trampled upon the beds that we made. They trampled upon it, they destroyed all the labor that we had. And when I told them, madam, and that was all that was said. And it's so unfortunate that even after challenging them, they still came back to do the same carry out the same act. Now the second time I had encounter I had with them was when the cattle rearers came into to our maize farm and destroyed the farm. They destroyed the farm. They ate up the maize. They harvested the maize. Unfortunately, when this was actually a very big issue because I lost so much money and so much resources that we put into the farmland. When we reported to the police said that it's actually a national problem, that there was little they could do, and they told us to go and lay our hands upon the person that came into the farm. But how do you get rid of people who come into your farm in the night?
In protest, the group urged Ondo people and the southwest to boycott or abstain from buying, selling and eating of beef throughout the month of March in solidarity with the farmers. The group warns that it would resist any attempts to create any grazing zone in the state because there is hardly a space of 1 kilometer between farms across the state.